Welcome, everybody, to episode 3 of the Sandlot Report, presented by the Majors TV. This episode tonight, post-World Series. 4 burning questions for TMSNX analyst Sean Bell here. We want to talk about, specifically, on tonight's episode, Joe Maddon and Terry Francona's handling of their elite relievers, Aroldis Chapman and Andrew Miller. Both of them faltered in Game 7. Did the managers handle their usage right throughout the World Series, or did they bumble it and were very fortunate that it didn't come back to bite them, specifically in Joe Maddon's case?
Basically, they were overpitched. Obviously, it goes for most any pitchers when you're not used to pitching more than 1 or 2 innings a game. It's going to tucker you out. And then when you're pitching consecutive games over and over, and you look at, for this series, the World Series, you look more into just not the World Series, more of the playoffs too. Like, they're pitching 2-3 innings each night. It's going to take a toll on you, especially when both of these pitchers have been trying to be starters since they, obviously came into the league. But they moved them into bullpens because obviously they couldn't work more than 2 to 3 innings. And when they're pitching consecutive innings like that, and this late into the season after you pitched that much, it can take a toll on your arm, and it showed it in Game 7 for sure for both of those pitchers.
Yeah, Aroldis Chapman threw 103 pitches in 3 days. Yes. Andrew Miller did have Game 5 and 6 off, but at the same time, Terry Francona used him to death the entire postseason. So speaking of which, Aroldis Chapman is about to hit the free agency market. Free agency opens today. That being said, where do you think Chapman ends up if he doesn't come back to the Cubs?
First of all, I think a big team that's going to do it will be the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Okay.
I think that's a big one. Obviously, they have the money. They're going to want to win it this year after, make it to the postseason again, and they fell short again.
They're also in danger of losing closer Kenley Jansen,
yes,
who is
exactly.
on the market as well.
So that's a huge thing, too. And another, a surprising one, a lot of my friends, we've even talked about it before, Detroit Tigers. I really think that, a lot of this fire sale thing that they're going on is kind of...
You think it's smoke and mirrors?
Yes.
Even though ownership, or not ownership, but the general manager is Al Avila has publicly commented saying that, we have to get younger, leaner, meaner, and cheaper. Signing a, let's call it a $15 million a year closer does not accomplish that goal. You still think he could end up with the Tigers?
Yes, I do.
All right. Moving on also to the Chicago Cubs. Do you, in your estimation, with all that they're potentially losing, with Dexter Fowler potentially being on his way out, Chapman, among others, also they did decline Jason Hamels' club option, do they have what it takes to repeat as champions?
I definitely do. How young that core is, especially the infield. That entire infield is so young. You look at, Anthony Rizzo, who is 20...
He's the elder statesman at 26.
26. So, and then you got Javier Baez at second base, who just looks...
22 years old, 21-year-old Addison Russell.
Yeah, exactly.
Chris Bryant's 22 or 23.
He's 24.
Is he 24?
Yep, he's 24. And then you got Wilson Contreras, catching. So, I'm like, that's a young group core, and what they just did in the World Series, you're going to see that more often. You could even look at, Jason Hayward obviously had a down year. Big down year. He's going to pick that back up. Yeah, he will. And then, Schwarber is going to be back, and he's going to be healthy, hopefully. And then you look at Zobrist. I'm like, it's just going to be basically the same crew, except for, Dexter Fowler is going to be gone. He's not going to resign with the Cubs.
There's going to be greener pastures.
Oh, yeah, he's going to get paid fat somewhere. So I think they definitely do. The pitching staff's going to be exactly the same, except for Hamels is gone. So, but they have that 1 through 4, and just the talent there is just great. In the bullpen, I think it'd just be perfectly fine without Chapman.
So the World Series featured 3 Cy Young finalists this year, and Cy Young is announced next week. Out of those pitchers, those being Corey Kluber, John Lester, and Kyle Hendricks, which in your estimation is most likely to win a Cy Young award this year?
To be honest, I think it is Kyle Hendricks. I really do.
Okay.
Led the league in ERA. He went 16-8, I want to say. His whip was .98. He just had a great year. You could say the same thing for Lester too, obviously, but Lester's ERA was a little bit higher. Even it was 2.44 instead of 2.13.
It's so
I know,
terrible.
Crazy. And then obviously his whip was just a little bit higher. But I just felt that Hendricks basically deserved it more, and he just each year is like improved. Like he's only been in the league for 3 years,
yeah.
and each year he's done good. You know, his rookie season he only pitched I think a good like 10 games, 16 games, but he had an ERA in the 2s, and then last year he had an ERA in the 3s, and then it was back down in low 2s again. You know, this kid's a stud. He's only 26 years old.
Yeah, and what's going to hurt Hendricks is he ain't sexy. He wins with the changeup.
Exactly.
You know, he doesn't. I don't even think game 3 or 4 of the World Series, it was him against Josh Tomlin. Not a single had like 3 90-mile-an-hour fastballs between the two of them.
That's the thing. That's
what kills him.
His game is not the strikeout game. That's the thing. You know, his game is to put the ball in play and have his defense to do what they're supposed to do, and that's the style of game. And he just does it so good.
All right, so that is going to wrap up this 3rd episode of the Sandlot Report presented by the Majors TV. Click back here on our YouTube channel and follow us on Twitter at TMSNX for more updates. So for Shawn, I'm Dorf. We'll see you guys next time.